Hi, I'm Shannon Gonsolin with Gonsolin Land and Cattle. We have had several clients and customers ask us about doing cooking shows and whatnot to kind of show them how to cook our meat because of the leanness of it. So today we're going to try to cook some ribeyes and some tenderloin. It's called a reverse sear, which is pretty easy. We season the meat, we put it in the oven for a low temperature for about 25 minutes, and then we take it out and then we sear it after that. The ingredients that you can use is I like a dry seasoning, which we're going to use some coarse salt and pepper and sprinkle it on all the cuts. And if you notice, the fat on the ribeyes, which are right here, tends to be a little bit on the yellow side on a grass-fed beef product, and that's because of the beta carotene is called, which is inside the grass, turns a lot of the fat to a yellow content, which is very common. So don't be afraid whenever you see a grass-fed product that the fat tends to have a yellow content to it. So we're just gonna liberally spread some coarse salt and black pepper on the ribeyes, pat it in. Same thing on the tenderloins. And what the reverse sear does, it cooks more evenly. And it cooks the inside, so it allows us to then take it out and sear the outside on a high temp. The one thing you never want to do with a lean meat such as grass-fed is cook it too dry. High heat long term will make it really, really tough and draw it up like shoe leather. So we have them seasoned. We have our oven preheated to 225. We're going to take our steaks, put them in the pan, and let them heat up and cook for 25 minutes. So 225 for 25. Then we'll take them out and I'll show you the searing portion of it. All right, so here are the tenderloins and the ribeyes after a 25-minute, 225-degree run. And again, it's important to remember that our grass-fed beef is about 80% lean across the board, so all the steaks are lean also. So you don't want to dry them when you overcook. You don't want to dry them because you will overcook them if you do, and they'll be shoe leather. So by doing this technique, it cooks it evenly on the inside first. And then we're gonna take it out. We're gonna put some butter, garlic, and some rosemary into a black iron skillet that's on high heat. And we're gonna sear it for 1 minute either side, and that should give us a medium rare finish with the steak. Okay? So butter's in the pot, heating up pretty good. And this can get kind of messy with the butter, so just plan on that. Take some rosemary, throw a little bit in there. Here. You want to get the fire hot enough so when you place a steak on it, you get a good sear. Because again, that's where you're trying to caramelize the top of the steak. One minute and 1 minute. like to throw the butter on top of it also on the top. And if you like your steaks done a little bit longer, you can go 1:15, but I wouldn't go more than 1:30 per side because it'll just dry it out too much. These ribeyes are about 1.5 inches thick. The tenderloins are about 1 inch thick. That's what you like to see on the back side, a good crusting on the steak. It's important to let these steaks sit for about 10 minutes after we cook them. And what that does, that redistributes the juices in them and allows them to be more evenly. So that's a minute on either side for the ribeyes. And again, you have a medium rare steak. With that, we'll set them over here and we'll put our tenderloins in the pot. And the same procedure. Keep an eye on that butter. It will burn at high heat. Some of these smaller pieces of tenderloin I'll probably pull out a little sooner. But again, the idea is to cook it in the oven, to where it is cooking on the inside, and now the caramelization. So it's a little different cooking technique. Most people like to sear their steaks really high for 5 minutes and 5 minutes on either side, and that'll give you a medium rare on conventional beef. But again, because our beef is so lean, if you try to do that, you'll have shoe leather. And the tenderloins won't take as long because they're smaller cuts. You certainly don't want to overdo those. And I'd rather cook over a gas grill, but today's electric. So there's the steaks, that's the ribeyes, and the tenders, which have a good medium rare center to them. But again, it's very important to let them sit for about 10 minutes after you cook them, again to redistribute the fluids inside